let me ask you this specific to the last 18 months. What do you know now that you maybe were a little bit naive on before when you were running? Maybe you weren't naive on none of it, but obviously once you've been sitting in that seat for 18 months, like you said, you're still learning.
I'm still learning.
But what are some of the things that really kind of stand out to you over the last 18 months that have really kind of changed the taste in your mouth? You are listening to the East Texas Banner right here at easttexasbanner.com. Got the privilege today of sitting down with City of Jasper Mayor Anderson Land. Mr. Land, I really appreciate you sitting down with me, man.
Thank you, Jay. It's been a while.
It has been a while, man. It has been a while. Tell me why. Why has it been a while?
I didn't want to interview with you.
I understand that.
You want to know why I didn't want to interview with you?
I've heard this before.
You've heard this before?
Well, from other people, not.
You haven't heard it from the source, huh?
No. What I'm saying is that people who have interviewed with me, sometimes things don't maybe go as planned, right?
Yeah. No, things don't go your way. If things don't go my way, and I look at it as, well, why didn't my interview go like that?
Sure.
That was a soft interview. My
Sure.
interview was the hard interview.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe it was set up differently. But my interview is like, I got questions for you. Well, wait a minute. You're not letting me talk. You're asking me questions, letting me say things.
I got you.
That kind of stuck in my craw.
So the format of asking questions and not letting you answer.
Yeah, I mean, it was different than the way you did some other
Sure.
interviews
sure.
that you did.
And I've done a lot of names. And I've done a lot of interviews, and there's a lot of different angles to how some of those interviews come about. But so what I'll do in a measure of good faith is when I ask you a question, I'll let you complete your answer without being combative. How about that? Can we agree on that?
That works for me. We can agree to agree on that one.
There we go. Okay.
Okay.
So, man, how long have you been in office at this point?
Okay. I have, as you know, I was city councilman for 2 terms, 4 years.
Right.
This my first year as mayor. May? This is September? Mm-hmm. Since 16 months I think I've been mayor.
Okay.
So, this is my first year as mayor. Still learning.
Right.
I don't envy my predecessors.
Sure.
From what they did. Being mayor is a lot different than being a council member.
Okay.
You're more or less the ceremonial head of the government of the city.
Okay.
We have a manager council type government. The city manager actually runs the operations of the city. He's the CEO, chief executive officer, whatever, of the city. I am the head of the city, as he's like the chief operating officer. Right. He runs things. I'm like the CEO of the council. We're of the board. So he has a board that he has to answer to, and that would be me.
Okay.
He's the CEO of the city operations. I'm the CEO of the board, of the city. So yeah, he does answer to us, the mayor and council.
Right.
Contrary to popular belief or what some people may think, the city of Jasper their council consists of a mayor and 5 council members.
Okay.
So that means the mayor is part of the city council, but he is the head
Gotcha.
of the city council. They don't work for him.
Right.
We don't work for each other.
Right.
I don't work for them. They don't work for me. I mean, I know that statement was made by a council member that the mayor works for us. No, that's not true.
Well, hopefully everybody's working on behalf of the city.
That's what we're supposed to. We work for. Everybody's working on the. Let me explain to you. Let me say it like this.
Okay.
There's 2 people that work on behalf of the city. That is myself, who the people of the city voted for, and our District 5, the at-large council member that we have. Those are the only 2 people that was elected by the people of the city of Jasper.
Okay.
We have actually have 4 districts. The 5th district, which is the at-large candidate, he doesn't really have a district. He has the whole city. So yeah, you could say he does have a district. Everyone else has a district that they have to represent.
Okay.
If you don't mind,
Sure.
some numbers here. District 1, 2024. This is a summary of the votes last year. District 1, which has 1,081 registered voters. District 2 has 1,245 registered voters. District 3 has 841 registered voters. District 4 has 1,038 registered voters. These are the voters in those districts. So we have a total of 4,203 registered voters. This was as of last year, last election.
Okay.
The votes that were cast last election, which we had District 3, 4, and 5, okay?
Right.
District 3, which was Councilman Holmes, you know, he had 800, let's see, that was, like I said, 841 voters.
Right.
In that district. He got like 6%. Early votes was 37, election day 16. Got a total of 53 votes in that district.
Okay.
That's District 3. District 4, which was Councilwoman McCroskey's district. Early votes 41, election day 22. She had a total of 63, which was 6%
Okay.
of the total, you know, like that. District, and Steve Adams, who actually was her council. Let me just say this: Councilman Holmes ran unopposed.
Okay.
Okay. Out of a total of 841 voters in his district, he got 53. 1,038 voters in District 4, she got 63. Council member Rashad, let's see, Steve Adams. Steve Adams, he got 48 votes in that district. I think Rashad ran against Mr. Hildebrand, Councilmember Hildebrand.
Okay.
He got 186 votes.
Councilman Hildebrand did?
No, Councilman Lewis.
Okay.
He naturally he lost. Councilman Hildebrand got 339.
And what district is that?
That's the at-large position.
Oh, the at-large
That's
position.
5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's see. Hildebrand, no, that was a total. Hildebrand got 245. Lewis got 94.
Okay.
For a total of 339.
Okay.
That was like 8% of the total number here. That's something that's disturbing to me.
Yeah?
Looking at those numbers. I mean,
Sure.
you know, you got a registered voters of 4,203.
Right.
689 votes for city council. 689 out of 4,203, which was 16% of the registered voters that voted in that last election.
Right. Right.
I think
Why do you think that is?
people are not interested. A lot of times people don't come out unless there's a general election. But you know, our elections are in May.
Right.
So you know, a general election or like the presidential election, you know, that's
Sure, you get big numbers there.
You get big numbers there.
But still very weak numbers across the board.
yes,
You know?
absolutely.
So,
Absolutely, but I don't know. People are not interested.
Right.
Just like with the general elections, candidates are not exciting to them. Or a
Right.
lot of people, I hear statements like, "Well, they're not going to do anything for us anyway, so why should I go down there and vote?"
it's a great point.
Are they going to do anything for you, or are they going to do anything for the city? Is it a personal thing for you? They're not going to do anything that you want,
Right.
because I see things happening in the city.
Yeah.
I see things going on in the city. You know, may not have been what you have wanted.
I think a lot of people, by and large, are selfish, and self-interest motivates all decisions.
But yeah, they have their own agendas.
So, I mean, consequently, for a person just to say, that don't affect me at all, then you kind of get what you got, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But let me ask you this specific to the last 18 months. What do you know now that you maybe were a little bit naive on before when you were running? Maybe you weren't naive on none of it, but obviously once you've been sitting in that seat for 18 months, like you said, you're still learning.
I'm still learning.
But what are some of the things that really kind of stand out to you over the last 18 months that have really kind of changed the taste in your mouth?
Well, one of the things that I think is the type of government that we have here. Like I said, it's not that I didn't know what I was stepping into. Yeah,
Sure.
we have the manager council type government. It's just kind of disheartening that the mayor only can do so much as the mayor because he has a council.
Right.
Some council members like to remind me of that.
Right.
You know, you don't have a vote. You know, we're the council.
Right.
But you need to understand, though, the mayor is the head of the government. You know, it's not like that I'm just nothing. I'm here. You know, it's like anything that goes on in this town. I know what some of the things that I think is like, you know, I may not have a vote, but I have a voice.
Okay.
Okay, and I use it. It's sort of disheartening that a lot of council members don't think that way. Take care of your district. Yeah, you might have people call you from other parts of town or whatever, but each district has a council member.
Right.
You know, I think that when I was council member, somebody came to me with something, I would say, okay, who is your council member? I wouldn't discard it, but I would let that council member know I got a call from one of your constituents,
Right.
and they wanted to, they have this issue. I think that the way I look at it is, it would be, I get calls from people, me being the mayor. It's a lot of things that I can't, what's disheartening to me is a lot of things that I can't do anything about them. And a lot of people are like, well, you're the mayor. You said you were going to do this. You know, when you ran, you made this promise. You made that promise. I said, yeah, I said I was going to work my hardest to make some changes that need to be made here. When I was council member, yeah, I could do that because I could vote. Even as mayor, you know, if I want to get out there and do another proposition or talk to the people, find out what's going on, then I do that. I listen to people. But I don't listen to 1, 2, or 3, or 4 people because there's, according to the census, 6,884 residents in the city of Jasper. That's the population. Do I believe that? No, because that was done during COVID. I think it's a little bit, probably a couple of thousand more than that, maybe 8.
Yeah.
I really do, because a lot of people didn't want to do a census. But there's only so much I could do as mayor. What do I know now that I didn't know then, or what has nothing's changed. You know, I'm still fighting for the people. I'm going to always fight for the people.
Right.
You know, I had a gentleman approach me the other day, said, you said you were going to, I was in the store, you said you were going to do this as mayor. I said, well, you do know what my position is as mayor, don't you? I can talk to your council member. You know, try to talk to them and say, okay, look, you know, you have a constituent in your district approached me about this issue.
Right.
That's up to them to say, okay, yeah, you know, like you can bring that issue to council, or I tell people all the time, come to council.
Right.
You know, public comments. A lot of people don't. You see how many public comments we get. We don't get a lot. You know, we get a few people that want to come in and, just like you said, voice their grievances. But is that the grievances amongst the city as a whole, amongst all the voters as a whole, or is it just yours? We can't personalize things here. You know, we can't really personalize anything. It's like, well, I'm going to fix, you got potholes on your street, so you just want your street fixed. You don't care about anybody else.
Right.
You don't have enough fire hydrants on your street, so you're worried about your street and not anybody else. But we have to look at, as me as the mayor and we as council, we need to look at the city as a whole, because those 4 districts make up the city as a whole.
Sure. So, you know, to me, on one hand, you know, when you have, it's kind of like this. It's kind of like whenever they send out for a survey. They'll blanket a survey. I'm just talking about like national surveys and things like that. And what they're doing is, a lot of times they're trying to see, first of all, how many people respond to the surveys, and number 2, they're trying to figure out what the overall consensus is based off that survey, right?
Yeah.
So it could be easily assumed. Now, of course, you know, a lot of people are against assumption, but sometimes that's all you got in this life. Whenever you have a handful of people show up, and they're all kind of, you know, maybe they're not on the same, maybe they're not beating the same drum, but they're kind of beating similar drums. You can kind of get a consensus response on some level. Now, sometimes you can't. I mean, sometimes, you know, sometimes people are coming in with absolute agendas, right?
Yes.
And those you could kind of earmark and go, well, we knew they were going to talk about that, right? But, you know, it's like this past week, you know, we sit down. I say we sit down. We came here to city council, And it seemed like there was kind of a revolving door up there at that public comment booth, for a little bit, just talking about a lot of different things. I think it's kind of an easy way of trying to see what the overall, if you're looking at it from a standpoint of, we've got to look at this city as a whole.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Then you back up and you go, okay, well, this one's from District 1, this was from District 4, and they're kind of saying the same, they have some of the same concerns, Then we could kind of see that this is a narrative, or at least a communication that's going out and about in the community, right?
It's up to me as the mayor to determine that, to look at that and say, okay, listen at what people are saying. Okay, well, this person is saying the same thing as this one, maybe a little different.
Right.
But as the mayor of the city, I mean, city councils, hearings, whatever.
Right.
Have they been getting a little bit, I'm not going to say radical, but sometimes out of control? Yeah, they have. Yeah, I have a gavel. I have a placeholder up there where I have to hit that gavel. A lot of times, like, man, you need to take control of the meetings. You need to take control of the meetings. So, yes, I do. But guess what? These are the citizens that vote.
Right.
These are the people that matter.
Right.
You live in the city limits. What I'm going to do every time somebody gets up to say something, or if a group stands up in favor or against something, I'm just going to bang the gavel. Yeah, I am going to say, okay, look, let's calm down. Let's do this in an orderly fashion.
Right.
Okay, yeah. Do I need to take more control of my meetings like that? Yes, I do. But I'm never going to stop somebody from voicing their opinion. If you're a citizen of the city of Jasper, sure.
Right.
I mean, I don't care if you're a renter, you're leasing a large building, or you're a homeowner. Right. Everybody has the same voice here in the city of Jasper. So I'm going to allow them to do that. Am I going to let you get out of control? Sometimes it's and you've been here. Some of them have gotten out of control.
Well, let me not to cut you off, but specific to that, do you feel like it's more the people getting out of control, or maybe some of the responses of some of the councilmen or the council members? Because what I watched the other evening,
I would say that's on both sides, because you got people that come up with their own agendas, no matter what a council member is going to say. Like I said, in public comments, for instance,
right?
People are going to come up. They're coming up before council gets to say anything.
That's right.
A lot of people have issues with things that are on the agenda.
Yeah.
For or against. Yeah. And like I said, sometimes some of the council members, I'm a part of that up there. You might say something that people might say, well, why did they say that? We're not for that.
Right.
Why is that on the agenda? We're not there. But one of the things that I wanted, and I had asked for, but council decided not to do it, was like when we post an agenda. Okay, you submit your request to have something put on agenda. I don't have my name put. I don't have a problem with my name on anything that I'm for.
Right.
Some people do. Like a lot of people jumped on this anonymous person that put something on Facebook. I stay away from that thing like the plague, because I think to me, it doesn't do me any good to go on there, because I'm not going to do that as the mayor. But with council members, I wish they would stay off of Facebook, but that's their right to do whatever they want to do. I can't tell them what to do. But in the council meetings, sometimes council members may say something that may incite some people to do things. Sometimes people in the audience will say things that council members don't like, but you're a council member. You need to hold yourself to a different standard. Not that you're better than them, but you're sitting up here. Yeah. You're here to try to answer questions, set legislation, set policy, to answer the questions that the public have, not just to sit up there and, I don't know what to say. No. You need to know what to say when you come up there and sit behind that desk.
Right.
You need to know how to answer your constituents, how to talk to people. Am I guilty of that sometimes? I probably am.
Sure.
But when it comes to answering my public, I probably am with my council members, because sometimes I think they're out of order, but they're going to do what they're going to do.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know that. But I just think that the people of the city should know that we are here to serve you. I don't work for the council, and the council don't work for me. We, like you said earlier, we all work for the people of the city of Jasper. But do sometimes things get out of control? Know what you're doing when you come up to the council meeting as a council member. Like I said, everybody talks about transparency. Oh, we need to be transparency. When I in one of my statements, I said, okay, I think council should, they're going to put anybody from the city council or anybody that wants to put something on the agenda, because when Waxman puts something on the agenda, we have to know if it's coming from, we know it's coming from Waxman, whether it's Susan or Leslie, Susan Stover or Leslie. They're going to put it on there. Yeah, this is coming. So anybody puts anything on there, and when I read that agenda item off, they may have, the council may have voted not to put their names on an item. So how transparent is that?
Yeah.
Because people don't know, well, who put that on the agenda?
Right.
We should be able to do that. I mean, I don't have a problem with that. But yeah, we have the option to not put their name on something when they put something on the agenda. But I think we as council members, we serve the city. The people should know what we want or what we're trying to do as a council member. A lot of things that go on agendas I don't approve of. Does it meet the criteria? Some things do, some things don't. But I don't have that luxury anymore, because that was voted from council to remove that portion of our rules and policy and regulations for the city council of the city of Jasper from the authority of the mayor. Does not have that authority anymore. So anything anybody submits to me, it's going on the agenda. I don't care if it's 21 items. Everything gets to go on the agenda, because I don't get to say, oh, well, this doesn't meet the agenda. This doesn't meet the criteria. Right. A lot of things that people said before, oh, well, the mayor won't let us put anything on the agenda. There were some things that, yes, I felt as though did not meet the criteria of something that needed to be on the agenda.
Right.
You know, so I was like, well, no, this doesn't meet the criteria. Well, I want it on there. So they made sure that I couldn't do that anymore by taking that authority away from the mayor.
Gotcha. Let's talk about a couple of hot topics that came up, you know, electrical rates and property tax. Mm-hmm. So, specific to electrical rates. Now, from what I gathered, and you helped me, you know, see the light on this.
Okay.
From what I gathered the other night, Ms. McCroskey, she had already kind of set aside $1 million for the electrical group here.
In the last council meeting, she made a motion to give $1 million, to allocate $1 million to the Light and Power Fund.
Okay.
Okay. So she said, I want to allocate them. I'll make a motion to allocate $1 million to help fund the Light and Power Department in lieu of increasing the rates for those 3 years that they wanted to.
Okay. So that $1 million will basically offset whatever raises to electricity that they experience. Is that what it's supposed to?
Maybe that's what she thought it was, but it doesn't. It just gets allocated to the Light and Power Department to help fund them. So if it's not going to do anything with the rates. Is that what you're asking? Are you asking?
Yeah. Because I mean, because the way I was hearing it, whenever the statement's made, in lieu of electrical,
in lieu of raising the rates for those. So and that's only going to be for this year too now.
Okay.
That's not for the 3 years.
Okay. That's
$1 million for this year, because last time when Greg Kelly got up and he explained it to him, he said, well, it's going to be $1 million this year, then you got another year. Budget comes around again. If you don't do it, he said it'll probably be like $1,000, $600,000. I think he said the third year is going to be like $400,000. So each year we're going to have to pull some money from that fund to help fund the budget for Light and Power in order for them to be able to operate. And let me make this perfectly clear right now. The city is not broke. Okay. The city is not in the red. It's possible that it could be. That's any time. You know, it just depends.
What's the current amount of money that's the SRMPA money that's kind of the
what's there now? It's about $29 million. But look, with what's been proposed, well, the budget's passed now. So and let me explain this to you. When Ms. McCroskey made that motion and they passed that was part of what the finance department and the city manager was figured into the budget. So that was there. There's nothing that I could have done about it, anything else, because city council had already, she made that motion and city council approved that money to be there. Now, my opposition to that was, okay, you want to give them that $1 million. How is that going to help lower the rates? Okay. It's not going to help lower the rates. It's going to keep them the same. So, which is why I did what I did with the item that I had on the agenda to allocate $2 million. As you know, last year I did $3 million,
right,
and that was $500,000 for 6 months. You know, and what that does is that comes off of our bill. Our
Right.
let's see, let me show you what I have here. It comes off of our invoice that we get from SRMPA. Okay, that helped us. That helped the citizens a lot. So what we did was on our monthly invoice that we get from SRMPA, what happened was, I will show you this. Show you one of these right here. What we had here, say like for invoice February, this was 2022, 2023, 2024. February invoice paid in March from us, from the city of Jasper, the SRMPA. Customers were billed in April. Okay, customers paid their bills in May. This is for they were invoiced in May. Our calculation of gross fuel costs, what we were billed was $486,525.35. With the $500,000 that I had allocated for that month, because like I said, we had $3 million, so $500,000 a month. That brought our energy bill from SRMPA down to $13,474.65. So that made our cost, actually, the fuel cost was minus 0.0019.
Okay, so let me ask you this with just hearing what you just said. Was that reflected on all the bills?
That was reflected on residential, commercial, light and power, and industrial. Every one of them. Here it is, right here.
So it wasn't just an offset for the city. You guys passed that along to the people.
That's correct.
Okay.
Actually, it was
by way of
on their bill.
By way of that 500,000.
That's correct for that month, and we did that for 6 months, and this is all 6 months right here.
Okay.
Every one of them. Anybody wants a public records request, they can fill out one, and they can get the same thing that I got right here, and they can see it. Now, one of the other things that I did when I was in there, when I was still on council, and a lot of people say, "Well, I don't see this on my bill. How can I see this on my bill?" If they look at the bottom of their bill, it's almost like fine print because you can only fit so much on those bills, but it's on there. Your water rates and your electric rates. The kilowatt per hour rate is on the bill. But before, it was just like your previous reading, this reading, and this is how much you used.
Yeah.
And then you got a number on the side. And people are like, "Well, how much am I paying?" So one of the things that I did, I fought with Cassell, I fought with the customer service department, till we finally came to a point with the previous city manager said, "Okay, yeah, we can do this." I said, "Look, we need to do this because people want to know how much they're paying."
Yeah.
How many people want to know? I don't know. Maybe just a few, but it helps everybody. I'm trying to look at everybody as a whole because I hear a lot of grumblings about, "Well, we don't know how much we're paying." Now you do. And if anybody says that, "Well, they don't put it on the bill," and I still get people that saying that, "Well, it's not on the bill how much we're paying." Look at the bottom of your bill. You'll see it. It's there. Your water and sewer rate and your electrical rates, what you are paying, those rates are on your utility bills when you get them.
Right.
So
Okay.
yes, they are there.
So let's talk about property tax for a minute. There's a concern about property taxes going up and this type of thing. Everybody's feeling that all across the counties. What's kind of
I can talk about city, but most what people are talking about is that they're saying like, "Well, my property taxes are going up." Our property tax rate, we haven't raised. I have to remember, Jay. I think with the last, I don't know how many years, we never raised property tax rates because we're mandated by the state. We can only raise taxes so much. So with what we had been doing, with what we had with the SRMPA funds, a lot of things we were doing with the city was offsetting that. Now, people need to understand there's 3 cities in SRMPA: Livingston, Liberty, and Jasper.
Okay.
They were, since I've been on there, even before I got on there, I actually called the executive director, Bruce Mintz, and asked him, I said, "Bruce, the money because I wasn't on the board then, but I used to go to the meetings. But I couldn't just be in the executive session. So what is that money allocated for that you give to the cities?" I think Livingston does something with theirs probably to help property tax or whatever. I'm not sure if they even have one, which is what I had heard. That's a rumor, but that's not, I don't know that for a fact. Liberty, they do with theirs whatever they want to.
Okay.
City of Jasper, they actually use theirs to help, like you say, offset capital expenses. And they did it. Was it only in light and power? No, it was not.
Okay.
But now it is. Since that Citizens of Jasper for fair and equitable rates, actually right now, that money can only be used for anything that has to do with light and power. Now, like I said, I was told when I asked about that, it can be used for anything the cities want it to.
Okay.
That's what I was told when I got on there. Have I checked to see if that's it? Yeah, as far as I know, it can be, but not now. Because the settlement that we made with the Citizens of Jasper for fair and equitable rates, it can only be used for a light and power fund. So that's why I said,
moving forward, that 29 million can only
you can't,
be
if you're the fire marshal,
right,
or if you're the fire chief, you can't say, well, our truck is gone, it's all down, it's old, we need to buy another one. Okay, you better find some money to get it, because you can't no longer come to the well and say, okay, yeah, well, we got this much money, we need to use that. At one point in time, council member wanted to buy some motorcycles. Could have then, but you can't say like, well, I want to buy motorcycles for the police department.
Sure.
Can't do that.
So it's
the police department can say, well, I need some more equipment.
Yeah.
If you don't have it in your budget. Now, general fund, if we have it in the general fund, they could probably, if we had it in the general fund to use,
Yeah.
it's probably possible to do that, but that's a finance question.
Gotcha. Yeah, it would almost make sense. What did you say? There's somewhere around between 6,000 and 8,000 people here in the city.
Mm-hmm.
It would almost make sense. I mean, is it customary for, and this is kind of a sidebar, but is it customary for a city of this size to have to be covered on the fire department side of things with a volunteer fire department, or is it customary for there to be some level of 2 or 3 that's actually full time? Because it makes sense to me. I mean, just as a business owner,
Yeah.
that if I'm sitting here looking at this deal and I'm like, okay, we got volunteers out here and that's awesome, but why don't we take 4 people and put them full time? We've got this bucket of money over here, and that's obviously going to be a bigger help to the community.
Yes, it would be, because you'd have people that was like I say, like for on the weekends, instead of having just your volunteer fire department, you have, like you say, about 3 or 4 people. That was something that had been proposed by our fire chief, by our fire marshal. We had talked about that.
But shot down.
A lot of people. Well, right now we can't do it. He submitted the documents to me and everything. He submitted the request. I looked at it. I thought it was a good idea, but is it? I'm not a fireman.
Sure.
How is that going to? And he explained to me how that was going to benefit the city, how it was going to benefit the department.
Right.
I thought it would be. And a lot of people say, well, how can you do that? You're just going to have 3. No, it was going to be a rotation.
Sure.
Not just those same people.
Yeah.
And what he showed me and what I looked at, it looked good to me. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, you can't just do that, because a lot of people out there were saying that.
Yeah.
You can't just do that. Only some people will be making money. No. He did his due diligence and his homework, said, okay, no, we're going to make this a rotation on this. So if some people may want to do it, some people may not.
Right.
Just because you don't want to do it, so then you'll miss that rotation. You won't, make it fair for everybody.
Yeah.
But that shot down, no. Can we do it now? No.
Okay.
Because like I said, I looked at it. I was going to bring it to council, but
It got shot down before that.
Can't do it now. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. What do you feel like? Are the biggest accusations against you right now? Say top 3.
That's kind of hard.
Okay.
Depends on what you say. Top 3 accusations.
Just the things
from
that come.
Who?
Just that come to your mind.
Well, the people that I hear that listen to me, it's like, well, some of the accusations. I'm not doing what I said I was going to do.
Okay.
Or you down there at City Hall now, and you said you were going to do this, and you changed your mind about that. Yeah, I did. You said you were going to do this. Well, I think I did. I did what I said I was going to do with the electrical rates, or with the. And there has been some talk about it. Well, it's not been implemented. The electrical part of it has. But since it said all the utilities, we're looking into that also.
Sure.
Maybe it didn't. So are we going to have to go back on that? Do I think there was anything criminal done about that? I don't know.
Yeah.
I wasn't in that. I don't see it, but do I think there was anything criminal? Do I think there was some mismanagement? Maybe, probably, but anything criminal? No. One of the other things is, well, the mayor said he was going to do this, or when he was on council, he said he was going to take care of this, or he was going to look at. Yeah, I've been here for over 5 years now, going on 6. I've looked at everything that I could from the standpoint as a council member and a mayor. I've asked questions, got some things done that maybe people didn't see that I'm not going to talk about. That some things that happened that was going on down here. I think it worked out okay.
Okay.
Some changes. One of the biggest issues that, as you say, what people are saying is, well, the mayor said that he was going to do this, and well, Anderson Land said when he got there, that he was all for going outside for mayor. I mean, going outside for city manager and going outside for chief of police. Now, since I've been here, I think Greg Kelly is probably was the best move to make down here. Listening at listening at the citizens. That was my opinion when I came down here. That was my opinion when I got on there.
It was your opinion that you didn't
I didn't want to do that. But listening to the people, it's like, oh, why would you want to do that? Look at what happened when this person we went outside for this one. That didn't work out. Look at what we did when we did the chief of police. I mean, the debacle that I heard about that, and I wasn't here then. I'm like, oh man, no way in, I would want to go through that again. Is that how people feel? So if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Okay.
If it's not broken, what's there to fix?
Okay.
Yeah, we had a chief of police that retired. He made his recommendation as to what he wanted then, but that was him. But like I said, we have a council now that has to, they have a job to do. I think they made the right decision with the city manager. I think Greg Kelly was the best possible appointee to that position.
Right.
Was I for that in the beginning? No, I was not.
Okay.
I thought that we should have went outside because I feel like, well, just like everybody else, it's just going to be the Good Old Boy Network all over again, sitting down and talking with Greg Kelly and, listening to him, which I'd never done. I'd never sat down and talked to him before. That was just my opinion without even getting applications and not even talking to him. That was my opinion.
Okay.
Was my opinion changed? Sure it was.
Yeah.
Sure it was. Just by listening to him, listening to the citizens. It wasn't just my decision, but guess what? I didn't get to vote on that. As some council members tell me, you don't have a vote.
Yeah.
Well, I did Monday night, but still.
Well, that is true. That is true. They tried to remove you from.
Yes, they did.
From the different situations.
And like I said, if they'd have done their due diligence and done their homework, sometimes that charter, you can read that charter and you read in it to what you want to.
Okay.
This part of the charter says this and that, and it says something about employees and officials. That's within the city.
Okay.
Employment. We're not city employees.
I got you. The other interesting part is that, looking into this a little bit more, each one of those different organizations that they were trying to remove you from, there are other council members represented on that same organization.
It's the same organization on those.
It's like with JEDCO. Mr. Sample's on JEDCO,
mm-hmm.
Correct?
Correct.
And I think Mr. Hildebrand's on another one.
SRMPA. Ms. McCroskey is on the Planning Commission, which is why I was kind of at awe about the response that Councilman Sample did give the public. It's like, well, he doesn't bring us anything back. He doesn't tell us anything.
Sure.
Okay, what about, does it take me to do that? When you have your council members, do you guys even talk about that other than whatever you talk about?
Gotcha.
But you have other council members that are on on those boards.
Right.
Do you call Mr. Hildebrand and ask him about what's going on over at SRMPA, or does he inform you? Does Ms. McCroskey come back from SRM, from the Planning Commission and say, look, this is what we discussed at the Planning Commission here. Everybody gets a folder. Everybody gets one of these when you go to the Planning Commission. It's right there on the table when you walk in with all the information that's discussed, plus the agenda and everything that's going on within the communities and within the three, well, Orange, Hardin, and Jasper counties.
Okay.
Okay. That's the Planning Commission.
Yeah.
So do you get any information from them? But your answer was to the public. He doesn't bring us back anything.
Yeah.
Well, you're on the JETCO board. What do I need to bring? What do I need to bring back?
Well,
If you you can call your fellow council members and say, "Look, this is what we did at JETCO. Here's the agenda. If they get it, I get it. He gets one because he's on the board.
Right.
So you could say, okay, yeah, this is what we discussed. If somebody asks you, what did you talk about at JETCO? But in our agenda binders, we don't get binders anymore because everything is supposed to come here, but I do because the print is too small. I mean, it's very small, and the fonts, I've enlarged the font as much as I can, but still, all that information from those meetings, when we go agenda, and some of the items, just like it's been in the past, is on the agenda, within that book under the information section. Yeah. So if they want that, that's there. That's what I do for my part. What the other council members do, I don't know. I don't ask them.
So,
but you're right. Yeah, those members serve on those boards. So what you're saying is, well, because he doesn't bring anything back, it doesn't wash.
Gotcha. What do you feel like the genesis of that line item on the agenda the other night? What do you feel like that was about? What do you feel like it was really about?
You're asking me to guess because I'm not in their heads.
Sure.
I don't know where it came from, who it came from, if it's something that they talked about, because the two of them had it put on there. I don't see anybody else. Plus, you had two people that voted against it. Right. Councilman Barber wasn't here, and I had spoken to him about it because he had called me. He wanted to know, what is this about? Right. And they didn't come in and talk to me. I don't know if they discussed it. Apparently, they didn't discuss it with any of their other council members. Right. But if they did, then this is the outcome. Gotcha. You have the outcome now. Yeah, absolutely. Mute point because I'm still on the boards. Let's move on.
So then, what would you say since you've taken taken the chair as mayor? Would you say that the council is more unified or more divisive at this point? Because that always seems to be, and it always seems to be the case. Any mayor you talk to, yeah, it's like, were you able to bring peace? Were you able to bring harmony? Were we all singing Kumbaya? And do
you think that's ever going to happen, Jay? Because everybody's got their own agenda.
I don't think the Kumbaya thing will ever happen. But I think you can see unity based on action. Absolutely. I think you can even disagree on some things and still hold a decorum of unity. I believe that. So I guess my question then would be, do you see it as divisive right now? Because, it's like when Randy was in this office. Yes. There was a lot of question over.
There's some divisiveness, but I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think that divisiveness is caused by the city council. Okay. But, city council, let me say this. The city council and myself, we have to listen to our constituents, no matter who they are and where they are, gotcha, whether they're a business person or just a residential customer or an industrial customer or whatever. We have to listen to them. Ultimately, the people that sit behind that desk have to make that decision and have to live with it. The 5 people who vote, or either the 4 and the 2 and 2 and then me if I have to break a tie, we're the ones, just like that decision that I just made to break that tie to keep me on the boards. I'm going to live with that decision because I'm doing the best I can for the city, and I know I am. I know I'm doing what's best for the city of Jasper. On the Planning Commission, because I know a lot of things that's going on down there, and I do bring them back. I'll take them to some other organizations or whatever here in town. Look, we're doing this like the foster grandparent program. I talked to, that's something that was from the Southeast Texas Regional Planning Commission. The Jasper County Center on Aging. Okay, I'm instrumental in helping them get the funding from Area on Aging Committee down at Southeast Texas Regional Planning Commission. Been helping them with that. Those are the things that I do as mayor in the city of Jasper that people don't see. Now, what kind of transparency do you want? If you see these organizations and they're working, what more transparency do you need? If they're not working, then there's an issue. But yeah, there's some issues in some of these organizations around here. But as far as my part as mayor and what I can bring back when I go like to conferences, I take notes. I get all the information I can, bring them back, whether it's going to be something with economic development, helping the city grow, helping to bring businesses to this city, helping to bring things that the citizens ask for and what they're trying to do. None of that doesn't happen overnight. Like the grant that we just got when we were down in Beaumont, that $3 million, we've been working on. That wasn't just the people that was just there with me and Greg and Miss McCroskey. That didn't just happen with us. We've been working on that for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
It takes a minute for a grant to take hold. Okay, we just went over to Lufkin last week. We had to take some training from GLO, which was mandatory. We had to do that in order for us to be able to apply for certain grants. I think they said something like 160 million or whatever, how much $1 million they got over there now. We may be able to get some of that. But back to that 3 million, that's going to help with some infrastructure that we need here in the city of Jasper. People have been complaining about sewers and plumbings and pipes and all that. Some of that's going to go for that. You know, some of the monies that we're going to be getting from this grant, the grants that we're going to be writing, because like I said, High Truett Road, one of the areas that some of this streets grant that we have now, some of the streets programs that we have going on now, it's only going to take care of part of that. But some of the monies that we're going to be writing grants for to help continue some of these projects that we got now, because we don't have a lot of money now to do that with. If these departments don't have them, the way we're going to fund some of these projects is through grants, and people need to understand it. Well, like, we need this fixed. We can't get that money overnight.
Right.
Like I said, this money that we just got when we were down there in Beaumont, Jefferson County, took 2 years for us to get that $3 million. Now, Orange County, Hardin County, Jefferson County, they got millions. One of them got 14 million. One of them got, they got 5-digit money. I mean, big money. So, but we're small. We're small. And with the Planning Commission, it's county and city. The city got some out of it. The county got some out of it. So,
Gotcha.
We're probably one of the smallest. Plus, we're new in the Planning Commission, because a lot of things that we had to do that we're doing, we're just about out of the cog as far as, monies that was allocated for us, like with broadband and all that. So, and I know Lonnie, I talked to Lonnie Hanover when I went over to Lufkin about that too. So there's a program with the Planning Commission. See, a lot of people, you want to spend money on this, you want to spend money on that. There's organizations with the Planning Commission. That's why I wanted to be on that board. So I want to find out, what do you have available that we can do for the city of Jasper? 911 addressing, all that's now down in the Planning Commission.
Gotcha.
Those are things that we want to do, and those are things that I want to help this city do. So the gripes and grievances that people have about me, I don't know, maybe it's personal. I don't think it's warranted, but, because I'm still going to do what's right for the city of Jasper and for the people of the city of Jasper. Whether you think I'm doing it right now, oh, you flip-flopped, you've done this. Wait a minute, so I'm just supposed to be so rigid that I can't change my mind about something? Well, because you don't like what I did?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
You know what, Jay Sharp, you don't like me changing my mind about, well, the parking lot, the tires in the parking lot were blue. Well, blue is for handicap, whatever, Don't you paint them all yellow? It's like, no, I'm going to paint them all blue. Matter of fact, I'm going to stripe them red, yellow, and black, like railroads.
Yeah.
But, so now you don't like that. Well, when the mayor got on here, he said he was going to paint those, but he said he was going to paint them yellow. But now they're black and white striped.
Yeah, and I think that's a little bit, I think that's a little bit unfair. Maybe as unfair as people, hoping that you would stay as rigid. Because, talking about parking lot stripes is one thing. Talking about changing your perspective and position on, like, the city manager and hiring from outside, it's like with anything else. I mean, you get the role, and then you get the education that comes with the role, and then a lot of times people who are running for positions are oftentimes running on theory and
hearsay.
And hearsay. And really what's happened, they've found them an echo chamber, and they listen to whoever's in the echo chamber with them. And then they go out, and these are our 5 points that we're going to hit on, because this is what everybody's worried about.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like I heard the gentleman the other night talking specifically about, we don't have nothing in this town for kids to do around here. And I'm sitting here going, wait, the city is not even done getting the backlashing off of the fact that they went out here and they spent this money on the basketball
$1 million,
court,
$999,000.
the water park
Slide,
thing, all that stuff, and then the skate park and all this. I mean, everybody was ready. So you're kind of, hell's being raised on both sides.
Yeah.
And so you just try to find a nice little eye of the storm, if you will, to try to navigate. But I mean,
But let me tell you one other thing. Like people beat up Jedco. Okay, and I'm pretty sure you're probably going to try to get to them at some point in time too.
Sure.
But people screaming like, "Oh, well, they're spending all this money on this baseball park and baseball field that they're going to do out here. And I don't know where they're getting that money from." And this, okay, wait a minute. What did you just say? We don't have anything for kids to do. And people go, guess what? Because it's already been passed.
Right.
When that comes to fruition, guess what? Whether it's going to be Little League or Pee Wee League or soccer fields and baseball fields and what have you, going to have something for kids to do. Somewhere for kids to go. May not be done in my lifetime.
Sure.
I hope I can see a little bit of it.
Right.
But also, can you imagine the jobs that something like that would bring to the city of Jasper? Increase the population for the city of Jasper, give people something to do, the kids something to do, and the people that have nothing to do here something to do.
Yeah.
Like I said, employment.
Right.
Increase the population.
Well, and
That's what economic development is. That's what they do.
It's true.
And I'm glad to be on that board.
No doubt, no doubt. Another thing is this, and I mean, to me, the idea that the city should do something in order to help stave off the bad decisions of our youth is delusional thinking, in my opinion. I mean, you can help, but at the end of the day, everybody has to make decisions for their own life and own well-being.
See, and I'm probably going to get ostracized for this, or raked over the coals, or beat up like, why would you say that? We're not your babysitters.
Bingo.
I want somewhere for my kids to go so you can do what?
Yeah, well.
What do you want? Well, good. Oh, the kids got somewhere to go now, so you drop them off. It's not a daycare center, but you drop them off so they can go down there and play, and what if something happens? Oh, I dropped them off at the city, and this happened to my child. What are you going to do next? I'm suing the city.
Yeah.
Like this basketball point, great idea. The concept, what they wanted was a multi-purpose pavilion. Not the place for it. I think that was a rush job just so they could get it done. Didn't help the people who ran it, who had it done, but still.
Gotcha.
Something like that I think would have been better included into this baseball park or whatever you want to call it, that they have a sports complex.
Yeah. Sure.
Put something like that out there too.
Yeah.
But you put it right here next to City Hall in an area that floods.
Yeah.
Because I've seen it. I've been down there after a heavy rain. And I've seen some kids out there, some of the kids that go out there and play with the big brooms, pushing the water off.
Right.
We got those Big A fans just up there, and that's the name of the company, Big A Fans.
That's exactly right.
So
big ass fans, in case you can't figure that out, guys.
Yeah, I can't say that.
Well, let me ask you this, man. Upcoming events. I mean, obviously, we are not events. Upcoming projects that you guys have, that you're kind of forecasting. You got anything you want to put out here to the people?
Well, like I said, the city manager said something the other night about something that what the electrical department is doing. I don't know if we have any more. We're still on our street project.
Gotcha.
That was the $13 million that we spent on that. We have some things in the works. I'm trying to wait to hear back from Waxman. We have another GLO project.
Okay.
We have projects that we're working on now. As you can see, what we've done with Sandy Creek.
Sure.
Over in there.
Trying to help it.
Trying to help that shore net up over there on the other side of
looks good.
Wheeler Street.
Yep.
That looks good, keeping it from falling off, keeping those properties from falling off into the creek.
That's right.
We've done that. Don't have anything in the works right
Nothing
now that I can talk to. But
Gotcha.
like I said, I'm the mayor. I try to help the city council along
Yeah.
with city council, make policy and legislate. Anything that our city manager, who handles the operations of the city, and I think even as public works director, like I said, I didn't know him that well then, but
Right.
you know, I mostly worked with the city manager because, like I said, we don't. I can't go out there and tell, and no city official can go in and, well, you know, you guys got to do this. We have the city manager, we have the department heads, we have the supervisors.
Right.
That's their job. Our job is not to run operations for the city. Some people think that I don't know if they think that they do, if that's their responsibility, but it's not. Our responsibility is to talk to this gentleman next door here in my office. Something that we don't like that's going on, or something we think that should be going on, or complaints that citizens have registered with us,
Right.
saying, okay, look, well, I've been hearing this. We got 5 guys standing around a hole out there. Why? People are saying, well, they're not doing anything.
Right.
So I posed that question one time. What's the deal? Why do you got all these people standing over here? You got a job, they're doing a job over here. It's like, why can't they be doing something somewhere else? Okay, so this guy's job is to do this. This guy's job is to do this. And this is this guy's job. So you're saying that you'd rather me have this guy over here doing something else and this guy over here doing something else. So when this guy get through digging this hole, the guy that's supposed to do whatever his next job is to do in the hole, because it's not the same person. You want this up now. You want this guy to stand around here and wait for this guy to come over to do his part of the job. So when this guy finishes, now you want the 2 people standing around to wait for this guy to come over.
So basic management of employees.
Yeah, it's employee management.
Yeah.
And I don't. I used to be one of those people. Damn, I'm driving by here. Why those?
Yeah.
What's going on over here? So
Yeah.
once I got to be council, I'd do that. I used to ask, what is this going on? Well,
Right.
this is okay. Did it make sense to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at some point in time, it's like, okay, and if it's
You changed your mind on that
I
point.
changed my mind on that. No, if it's something,
Based on
if
education.
it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, it's like, but still, I mean, I've learned to, like, not just be a chronic complainer, but to, okay, come down and ask what's going on. And it's like, yeah, like just like with Jetco, with some of our council members, I'll say this, they don't do to me, cook me and eat me. Well, we want to know, the people want to know, what people? You had 63 people vote for you. You had 43 people vote for you. You had 12 people vote for you. You're not an at-large council member. The people. That's all I hear. I used to be one of those people that said the people, but I come to figure out, guess what? I have enough things to do in my district that I'm going to take care of.
Right.
One of the things that I did for the people, and I did this while I was a council member, was the proposition.
Right. Right.
But I didn't do that on my own. I had the people helping me do that because that's what they wanted. And the city wanted that.
Right.
So I helped do it. But it wasn't me alone. It's like, I like what Anderson did with the proposition. Yeah, I may have had the idea, or I may have had some help with the idea, but still, it happened.
Right.
I was happy to be able to be a part of that.
No doubt.
I was happy to be able to be a part of that, not just me doing it. Well, it's just me. It's me. I. This is what I'm going to do. Well, no. You're not going to be the savior of Jasper. I don't care who you think you are. You're not going to get out and say, yeah, well, I did this. Stick your chest out. Somebody come along and stick a pen in it and let all the air out.
I heard.
There you'll be.
I heard a former mayor say one time. He said, it's probably one of the smartest lines I ever heard in my life. He's in the middle of a recall. He said, I've always wondered, how people could just line up to try to kill the Son of God. He said, but I'm telling you right now, you bring him to Jasper, they'll have him strung up by Thursday.
That's probably true. Have them strung up by Thursday.
I'll tell you. He said, man.
They'll try to get to them days, or they want to get that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, have them strung up and let him rise again. Yeah, that's probably true. But yeah, that's a true statement has never been made. But guess what? You know what? I love this town.
Yeah.
That's why I'm mayor. That's why I ran for council. I saw some things that I thought that needed to be done. And there was a lot of division, but not a whole lot. But one of the things that was mine was economic development. Because when I came back to Jasper, it's like, what happened to downtown?
Yeah.
I missed that popcorn smell and Fred Munsell standing out there in front of the movie theater
Sure.
and walking around and smelling Zeke's donuts and them burgers around the corner around there.
Yep.
There's none of that down there now.
Right.
But we do have Provalis that has 200 jobs and trying to get more.
Right.
So what's wrong with that?
And you do have the new cafe that's just popped up.
New Avenue Cafe. People got the Bell Gym.
Got the Bell Gym all spun up.
There's a lot of things that's going on around here, but
sure.
People give the city of Jasper some time. Give Jetco some time. Give us some good. Well, Jetco's just spending money. They're just like, well, okay. Well, like I said, we had motion made, to have a meeting. I never knew anything about that. Well, Jetco used to have meetings, all the time with the city and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you want? This is just me. What do you want to know? Well, citizens want to guess what? Jetco has a meeting once a month. People have the opportunity to go there. Just because the city and Jetco get together, how many citizens do you think are going to come?
Yeah, exactly.
People got their lives. People got their families to take care of. People got their jobs. So there is no perfect time for all of this to happen. That's why you have the Jetco boards. You have the city council who has their districts. Let people know in your district what's going on. Just because you meet, that doesn't mean anything. Yeah. It doesn't mean that you're going to, so what information that you're going to get out of this meeting that you're going to take back to your constituents?
I got you.
Okay, because you're saying, like I said, you're saying the people want to know. The people want to know.
Yeah.
How many? 63? 10? The 8 or 15 or 20 that come to a city council meeting? Right. Or the none that comes to a Jetco meeting? Hospital district board meetings? They're doing something wonderful in this town. Yeah. How many people know that? I mean, unless you listen to your local radio station, that a lot of people do, a lot of people don't. Is it going to be out there? People going to know? Transparency? Everybody, if transparency is what people say when they're not getting what they want. You're not telling me what I want to hear. Oh, this interview is probably going to be raked over the coals. I'm probably going to be like, oh, listen to him. He's saying this. And who is he to say? Yeah.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. I mean, I'll grow duck feathers. As long as I don't see no crosses burning in my yard or my dog being hung up in the front. Well, I don't have a dog. But
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, as long as there's no, I mean, it's kind of like everything else, man. I mean, you got people who are passionate on both sides, and to be honest with you, if you step back, it's like when people are running and campaigning. Mm-hmm. I mean, we just had two sheriffs or two sheriff's races happen in these two counties here. Yeah. Between Jasper and Newton.
Oh, there's a lot of stories about that too. You already know.
And I mean, to me, the thing that I find solace in is the fact that my hope is that a person who is running for one of these positions, I'm hoping both candidates have a heart for the community and want to see the community do good.
I'm going to tell you something, Jay, and I'm going to look in the camera and say this right now. Do you know how easy it would be for me as the mayor, being me, a black mayor, to make this a black and white issue? I got 2 white council members on here saying that they want to get me off. People out there saying, no, that's wrong. Yeah, you're doing it because you're black. Well, let's not go there.
Sure.
I'll say that, but it would be easy for me to say like, well, you know what? Yeah, they trying to get me off because I'm black.
Right.
Why? Because it's 2 white council members that want me off of these boards, but you don't have a legitimate reason for wanting me off.
Gotcha.
Well, I want to do it just because I can. Okay.
Yeah.
I ain't mad at you, but do you have a reason? Like I said, my question was, why? One council member said nothing. The other council member came up with something.
Gotcha.
But you asked a question earlier. I think we can, as far as working together as a council, but not with people having their own agendas and people having other person's agendas. Don't have somebody else's agenda. Have an agenda for the people. Don't give an agenda that somebody gave you.
Gotcha.
You know? I mean,
yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, I was kind of like that because I listen to people, and some of it was good. Some of it was right. Some of it was things that need to be done or need to be said, like the proposition I was talked to about that. This is what needs to be done. Let me look into that. I'm not just going to jump on that wagon. But when I started looking into it, yeah, that was good. It was
Yeah.
good. Do I think it's been implemented? The electrical part of it, yes. The water and sewer part of it, maybe, maybe not. But we'll get to the bottom of that once we have the rates, because we've already had the rate studies. That's why we did the rate studies for the electrical rates and all that. We had all that done, and it was found. And Mr. Grant, who was the facilitator of the Citizens of Jasper for Fair and Equitable Rates, he was like, yeah, well, we didn't really find anything. Yeah, the rates are all right, but transparency, okay.
Yeah.
Transparency, okay, is that what you're looking for, transparency? Like you said, well, I did ask the question, well, did you get what you want? No, we didn't get what we want. Oh, you're going to ever make everybody happy? No, you're not.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, it's the navigating of these positions, obviously, in these different roles, and trying to figure out, what keeps everybody, what keeps the temperament steady, This one will flare up over here, this one will flare up over here.
Yeah.
But in the long run, what's the overall temperament? That's kind of the ultimate.
And you got one person over here screaming about this because I'm mad because I'm not getting this done. You got another person over here saying, well, we don't have enough of this over here in my area, so this is going to be my flavor of the month, and I'm going to scream about this. So you're not going to make everybody happy. So let me ask you a question, Mr. Person that wants these potholes done, or Miss Person over here that think that you don't have enough light poles, or you don't like the lighting that's in your area, or whether it's your sewer problem or your fire hydrant problem or whatever. What's the solution? What do you think we should do? Yeah, I know you're Joe Citizen. You're that. So what is your solution? To bash and not come in and say, well, you're not doing this. What can you do to help us? Let us work this out, and it's like, give us an opportunity to do it. We have council members up here. I think we can do it, but as council members, and I'm the mayor of the city of Jasper, but yeah, we should be able to sit down, talk to our constituents, and not come at it in a mad face style. Okay, yeah, let's just jump on this. This is wrong. Let me look into this first. I'm just, you Jason, like Jay, look, I don't like the way the parking is on my street, and you need to do something about it. Well, let me go down here and jump on the streets department and talk to the city manager. I'm going to take care of that for you right now. Yeah. No. Okay, city manager, here's an issue that this person is having in their district. I can't do it. Right. I'm the mayor. I'm not operations. I'm bringing this to you. Or I'll tell people, did you call City Hall?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you call, put in a work order to get whatever issue that you have done? Is it something that they can do down there, or is it on something that needs to be done on a larger scale?
Yeah, yeah.
We need to think before we speak, or before we jump on that horse and just start riding him down the road.
Right.
If we all get together on the same page to do something, yeah, we can. If we listen to ourselves, get together as council members and communicate, I'm probably one of the worst, but I try to be good at it. But I'll sit down and talk to anybody. Shit, Rashad and I can sit down and talk, and I hate to use him, but I can talk to anybody.
Gotcha.
But hey, if you don't want to talk to me, what's there to talk about? If you say you don't want to talk to me, what is there to talk about? One issue I had with that young man was, and this was, I should have not done it like this, but when he said that I tried to do something, that was in another interview or whatever, and that just like, why would I want to, and I should have not been thinking this way. It's like, why would I want to talk to somebody that's going to accuse me of something that I know I didn't do?
Right.
Instead of saying, okay, let's sit down and talk about this. Why would you say that? Why did I do that? I didn't do that. I just went on the offensive.
Well, and the other thing is, man, sometimes for as much as we want to try to pursue righteousness and pursue sanctification and all these things that man, I still find my ego creeping up every once in a while,
Yeah, you can get a little.
I can get salty. Yeah. I got no problem getting salty,
Mm-hmm.
But listen, man, I really appreciate the time. Is there any last thing that you want to either clear the air with me on, or you want to clear the air with the people on?
Well, I think the air has been cleared because you let me talk. You didn't have your own. You didn't have your own agenda with your questions. There, it's like, well, you gave this guy these questions. You didn't do this for him. But yeah, we've cleared that, and I think we're back, Jay.
Well, there you go.
We're back. We're back from the not on the payroll.
Well,
when I used to support you.
You never know, man. You never know.
Yeah, you might go back that way again.
I'll go back.
Yeah.
I'll go back.
You will, but yeah, I appreciate you. What I
Yeah.
want to say is I appreciate you coming in and giving me the time to sit down, because before this never would have happened.
10-4.
Because how many times have you asked me, you want to talk? I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
You want to interview with me? Nope.
And in all fairness, it wasn't just the interview that had you sideways.
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
It wasn't.
So it wasn't just the interview.
It wasn't just the interview.
Okay. So
we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, we'll just leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that.
But here's the deal. We all live and learn, man. And my door's always open. My mic is always on and ready to go.
My door is always open. And like I said, I got one thing that I want to say to my city council. Rodney King, can we all just get along? Let's try this. Let's try this. We can do this.
Sure.
But have your own mind about doing something,
Gotcha.
In a way, we can do that, but we do have constituents. We have people that we have to listen to.
Yeah.
But make sure that it's something reasonable. Make sure it's a reasonable request or a reasonable issue that we can do something about.
Right.
And if it can be done, let's do it together. Don't just well, I'm only going to talk to this person, or I'm only going to talk to this 5 of you guys.
Right.
You can do things without doing something in a quorum. Like Mr. Hildebrand had tried to get some kind of page that he ever, not that I would want anything to do with it, because I still feel like it's a violation of the Open Meetings Act, but and I don't believe it is. It's not, because I've seen it in the Open Meetings Act, because I keep a binder over here. It's over there. So, and I've read it in there. Yes, he wanted to create some type of platform, and it's legal to do. You can do that, but haven't done anything with it yet. He voted to have it done.
And what was it?
And I think, what was it called? It was like a platform where all of the it's in the manual, the Open Meetings Act manual, and it's something. And I think he said Fort Worth has it. I forget what kind of page it's called, but all where city council members and people can talk and discuss things on it. And it's not a violation of the Open Meetings Act. I forgot what it's called.
It's kind of like a forum type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But then it can be done. And if people choose to, if council members choose to do it, I mean, it's not mandatory that you do it.
Right.
If council members choose to do it, you can. But
Yeah.
I just think that if we all communicate a little bit better, I'm okay with that.
Sure.
I just think that's one of the things that we need to do. I really appreciate the support of the people on Monday night. And I think the people were right. And I'm going to tell you something, Jay. A lot of people were saying oh, you needed to get control of that. You're going to say, I'm never going to shut people down. Am I going to let it get out of hand where there's going to be tussling and all this going on? But if people want to get up and speak and say something, people had questions. Like Mr. Hildebrand said to his fellow council person, he said, well, he asked for a point of order and said, okay, yeah, the people are asking questions. And I think they deserve an answer.
Yeah.
And I was 100% in support of him on that, whether it was about me or anything else. If people ask questions, I'm not going, nope, no, sit down, nope, sit down, sit your down. No, I'm not. You're never going to hear me say anything like that. But, there's our public. Those are the people.
Yeah.
Those are people that pays that high salary that we get. Oh, that's right, we don't get paid. But, yeah. So those are people that we have to answer to.
Yeah. No doubt.
So my thing is, council, let's get together and do what we need to do for the city of Jasper, for the good of Jasper, and help make that jewel shine again.
There you go.
Because it's a little bit tarnished.
A little bit.
And I'm tired of going places and said, man, what are you people doing up there in Jasper?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's going on with your council? I mean, it's like the incident that happened back in the 98 or 96, that's like almost nil now. Nobody even thinks about that anymore. It's city council. City council's the thing. For a minute there, even with the last city council, it was like clown show, joke, whatever. Let's not go there again. Let's make it better. Talk to me. I'll talk to you.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. Anderson Land, Mayor of Jasper. Appreciate your time, sir.
Thank you, Jay. I appreciate you.
Thank you, man.